Manistee City Planning Commission. It is December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Time is 7 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please take roll.
Commissioner Weiner?
Here.
Commissioner Memberto?
Here.
Commissioner McBride?
Here.
Vice Chair Slawinski?
Here.
Chair Whitliff?
Here. Thank you. And approval of agenda. This time, the Planning Commission can take action to approve the December 7th, 2023 agenda. Is there a motion?
I'll motion that.
Motion by Bob, second
Second.
by Shelley.
Gonna be one of those things.
Any discussion? None, please take roll.
Long night.
I think we need to address the amended agenda.
Yes,
Oh,
because this is
I'm
the
sorry,
amended
that's right.
agenda. Okay.
It's on the sheet you handed out to us tonight. right?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
on this one.
that's the amended one. Yep.
Right, I was going on mine with all my marks on it, so
Okay,
sorry about that.
No?
Well, motion for the amended agenda.
Yes, could I have a motion for the amended agenda to move Jerry Blay, is it? Is that, can I?
Blue.
Blue, I'm sorry, to the presentation speaker portion of the meeting? Is there a motion by Bob, second
Second.
by Shelley?
Sorry,
Discussion?
we also need to add 86 Washington under
Oh, I'm
new-
sorry,
new
and
business.
to add,
Yep.
and to amend that, 86 Washington Street
Correct.
to the agenda. I have that, so,
On the backside. Okay,
yeah. So,
we go with it.
we'll go with that motion, correct?
As
Further
amended.
discussion? None? Please take roll.
Okay. Commissioner Weiner?
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto?
Yes.
Commissioner McBride?
Yes.
Vice Chair Slawinski?
Yes.
Chair Whitliff?
Yes, thank you.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Conflicts of interest. Is there any commissioner with any type of conflict of the items on the agenda tonight? Please raise your hand or speak up. None? Okay. Approval of minutes. At this time, the Planning Commission can approve the November 2nd, 2023 meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Marlene, second.
Second.
Bob, discussion? None? Please take roll.
Commissioner Weiner?
Yes.
Commissioner Memberto?
Yes.
Commissioner McBride?
Yes.
Vice Chair Slawinski?
Yes.
Chair Whitliff?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
He's got a lot under that Union.
Okay, but the address, we can just go on the
Yep.
address. 354, right?
54, yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Correspondence? Any correspondence? None? I'll just read it. Any correspondence has been shared with the Planning Commission and will not be read aloud. And next is the presentation from Jerry.
Well, I didn't prepare a presentation. I'll speak as long as you want me to. It's not something I'm normally up here to do. I'm not a public speaker, but I will say that I'm the new building official for the city. I started about the same time Teresa did, I think, early October. I've been a building official, building inspector, plan reviewer since 2008, I think. Served as a zoning administrator in 3 different municipalities, served as a soil erosion officer for Alpena County. Also hold licensure in water distribution and water treatment. I was a DPW director for Alpena Township. What else? I ventured into politics. I don't really want to talk about that. I'm all done with that in my life. I appreciate what the Planning Commission does for the city and the service to the community. So with that, I'm working on streamlining the rental inspection program here, make it more efficient and user-friendly for the landlords, tenants, We're working with the city police to get some of the blight issues taken care of when it comes to the construction end of it. Working now closely with the fire department and the fire marshal to try to get commercial buildings inspected. Trying to sort out the records from Safe Build and make sure all the active permits and active building going on right now is taken care of, and we move forward instead of, dwelling on the past. We're trying to make things more efficient for everybody. Like I told council the other night, public service is the reason I'm here. I've been serving the public in one way, shape, or form basically my entire life. It's not about money, it's not about prestige or anything else. It's just about helping people, and that's how I was raised. So that's about all I have.
Okay. You mind taking a few questions if any of the commissioners
I
have?
feel free to ask. I'll tell
right.
you if I'm not going to answer.
All right.
How's that?
Any questions by the commission?
I don't have any now.
No? Okay, I have one. What?
Brain freeze.
If we see when we're traversing the area, anything that's out of context, how do we get a hold of you? What do we need to do?
You can send me an email.
Okay.
You can call my cell phone. You
Okay.
can call my office phone, which,
What is your mobile?
that's a great question. I just got it. I don't know.
Oh,
I apologize.
I can tell you.
Has it?
Yep.
The office phone rings to my cell phone,
Uh-huh.
so I am accessible all the time. And I answer it all the time. You can come into the office as well.
Are you in this building?
Yes, right across the hall from the bathrooms, across the hall from Teresa,
Yep.
in the old record room.
So his work phone number here is 231-398-2806. And the mobile number is 231-794-0604.
okay,
I
excellent.
apologize, I wasn't prepared for that question.
That's all right. And I know we have was it the C-Click Fix? Is that what we have?
See something, yeah.
That does not work on my phone. I have a Droid. For some reason, it won't load up.
Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
Does it? What do you have? You have a Samsung?
Yes.
Huh, must be me. But
Uninstall it and
is that going to be, are you going to be monitoring that, or is that just for blight?
That was a great question. City manager had us put that on our phone as well, me and Teresa, and I have not played with it yet. He did not instruct me that I was going to be monitoring that, so I don't know the answer, but I certainly can get that answer for you.
Okay, yeah, if you could, give that answer to Teresa, and she could
Sure.
give it to everyone here.
Yep.
So, okay.
He did instruct us to go on there and post some complaints anonymously, just to make sure it works, but
Sure.
as far as monitoring, he's not instructing me to do that.
Okay. So that's probably, if it would work on my phone, but that would probably be the quickest to you.
Sure. Yep, thank you.
Board?
Thank you very much.
I always say, we have problems with blight and you turn it in and nothing ever happens and it just stays year after year and the stuff. So I'm looking forward to maybe a new broom sweep clean.
I'm going to do my part with the construction end of that, the blighted buildings, when it refers to the condition of the actual buildings. My understanding is the junk and that stuff is still going to be enforced by the city police, but I'll work with them however they need me to help them out,
Okay.
so.
All right, very good. Thank you,
Okay.
Jerry.
Thank you.
And welcome. Public comments on agenda-related items. If there's anyone in the public, any comments on the agenda tonight? No? Okay. Move along to new business. Change in zoning area R1 and R2 near Jefferson School. I'll hand that off to Teresa.
So it's, the first page you'll have the map, and of course you'll see the arrow there for the map. It's been brought to my attention that there's been a few residents and coworkers that have asked what we're planning on doing or what's going to be happening with Jefferson School. If you could enlighten me and let me know what all of you know about Jefferson School, since I'm still a little new here. And then from there, we can talk about possible zone change. So who would like to go?
Pam?
I don't think the school has any idea what they're gonna do with the property yet at all.
No,
Okay.
it's my neighborhood.
Okay,
I live 2 blocks away from it.
okay,
The school owns the property,
okay,
and the school has to decide what they're going to do with it.
okay,
The city has nothing to do with it right now. There is a faction that wants to turn it into the park.
I've seen the signs, okay,
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
And the city has said that they will not maintain it if it turns into a park, that the school, some organization with the school, or the gift, you promised us our parks group is going to have to take care of it.
okay,
Like I said, I live 2 blocks away from it. I don't think we need another park. There's 2 school grounds that have play structures within 2 blocks of that.
Okay.
One of them's across the street from my house. The other one is at the elementary school. We have 80 acres of parks. We don't need another park. We need housing. And they got really upset about that because they thought we meant low-income housing, and that was not.
okay,
We want fair market housing. And
okay. Well, and maybe that's why this has been brought up. So what I have on the second page, it says here about the change in zoning areas, R1 and R2. It gives just a brief, the topic of what R1 and R2 stand for. But what I went ahead and did was I looked at the very bottom, and when we look at R2, which the school is in R2, it includes retail and personal service land, it says. And in the future, if this area possibly changes to R1, there possibly might be some public water or wastewater services. They might extend that. It was just part of discussion. The next thing, I went ahead and took the second page of the standards from an R2 to an R1, and some things that I just wanted to go over for if it was a zone change. So where the school is at in R2, if you brought it to R1, the lots would become larger. That's a pro. There would be no duplex or commercial use. The maximum dwelling from that would go from 8 down to 4. And then also the widths of the lots would be larger. So I guess it depends on what avenue you want to take and what you feel that wants to be there. Would you just keep it R2, or would you bring it to R1? Then what we would need to do is also look at a little bit of the larger portion of the map. Would we bring that down further? Because as you can see right down here, there's some yellow kind of protruding out. Would we want to make a whole different line or rezone it very differently? So I'm just bringing it up as a topic.
One thing I'd like to look at, I wanna pull the old plats for the area before it became a school.
Okay,
To see what the original subdivision was there.
Yeah.
And it could revert back to that original subdivision if it had never been vacated. It may still be on the books as a subdivision.
okay,
So that would give us lot sizes already existing,
right,
which would dictate what zone it would go into.
okay, yeah,
In that neighborhood, there probably was just one house on that lot. Because that's where the big houses were
Okay.
before the fire, so,
right, right. Okay,
yeah.
When was that school built?
I have no idea.
I think it was built in the 50s.
50s?
And I know for sure there's a subdivision that preceded that. There had to have been. Most of that part of town had already been long subdivided in plats. And unless there's something recorded vacating that part, it should revert back to the original subdivision layout.
And who knows that far back? That's a great idea.
Wouldn't be too hard to find.
Well, and I know
I
in
mean-
Jerry's office, we've got, old plans, old maps, all of that. So we'll take a look.
I just got to pull it up on my computer and I'll have it when at home.
Oh, okay, great.
I've got every.
That's
I've
right.
got every plat in Manistee County, Mason County, Lake County.
Well, we'll
Oceana.
task that to
Wow,
you.
That's
Yeah.
kind of part of my job.
Oh, I know. I know.
Things weren't followed to the
No,
T
I don't-
back
no.
then, and
No,
they just,
Subdivision I have, but if there's any
It's
of
kind
the
of
vacation orders and that, I wouldn't
everything
have
else
that.
around it, so.
it's a very hotly contested,
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's up to the school what they do with it. because
Yes.
They own it.
yep.
I mean, hang on to it for all we know.
And they might keep on.
well,
Right.
with that though, they cannot take out the foundation, is that correct? Because of the school bond, until that school bond is paid off, they can vacate around the school?
I don't know.
I heard that from,
It's a weird worded bond.
It
It's
is.
really confusing.
It is.
And I think they did that on purpose.
or they didn't know what they were doing.
That too.
It's a mess. I
It does
didn't,
not surprise me with some of the.
But it is a very long convoluted argument that's been going on for, what, 2 years?
At least 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
ever since this millage came up, so.
And I think the school's scheduled for demolition 25, or this summer. It's either this summer or
thought it was
next summer.
coming, yeah, I thought it was sooner than later.
I thought it was gonna be
Oh.
24, but then somebody told me that they were gonna push it back even
Oh.
because the construction's not done.
Well, they're so
Oh.
far behind on the
They're so
stuff.
Yeah.
behind on the other one.
They've got all the kids still in Madison for the second straight year, and they first finally put up the construction fence
Yes.
this last week.
Yeah.
Yep. They started demolition in the old high school,
Yeah,
New Kennedy, I guess.
and they were behind on that.
Yep. So that's, yeah.
It's gonna be a long, drawn-out process. We may
Okay.
not see that for another 2 to 3 years.
Right, right. Well, and of course, I'm the new kid, so, hey, let's kind of ask Teresa, and then I can plant the seed, so,
So somebody will be able to say, well, Teresa told me.
yeah.
I don't know, I'd like to see it revert to R2 myself.
It is R2.
It is R2.
Yeah,
That's what
but-
I'm saying.
oh.
Stay R2.
Yeah,
Stay R2.
you heard me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't need any motion, anything
No.
on this tonight?
Nope, just,
Okay,
yep, just new
Okay.
business, just conversation.
all right, are we terminated, we're done with this?
Yep,
We're good? Move along, Heritage Farms,
yes.
good project.
So what I need all of you to do, so we can all follow along, can everybody pull this list out then? It's in your packet. It's an email at the top. And it starts with the dispensary authentic 231.
Page 2? Where is it?
Page before all the dates there.
Oh, okay, got it. Page 2.
I can do that.
All right, is everybody all set?
Okay,
We'll share.
Okay, so yesterday, Jerry and I had a meeting with the Authentic 231, or as it's also labeled as Heritage Farm Company. We needed to discuss with them what exactly needs to still be completed. This was still open, or I should say it was closed, correct, Jerry? It was closed, and it should have never been closed in the permits. We also found out that the packet in the folders that we were received had a lot of missing information. So what I did is I had to talk to the attorney, and I put in there all of the conditions that all of you had put on that property from probably 2019. So what we did was we got this list together. We had a checklist when we met with them, and so Jerry and I reviewed this. So what I'd like to do is just quickly discuss each little bullet point for you.
Okay.
So they do have a certificate of occupancy. Does not have a business registration because I cannot sign off on it until these other conditions are met. Has not completed phase 2 that was outlined by all of you, the planning commission. The SUP was valid for 2 years, and I guess I had a question about that. Why did you guys put a limit on the special use permit for 2 years?
Aren't they all 2 years initially?
It usually goes along with the construction.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's-
Okay.
That's pretty standard of what we do.
okay,
The permit is for, the special use permit is for the construction time frame.
okay, so for the time frame, because normally I'm used to 1 year, and then they ask for an extension, so, okay. So they know if the parcel's sold, the special use permit goes with the parcel. All work must be completed, okay? Site must be developed to plan specifications, correct? Existing pole sign must be removed. I had no idea what that was or anything. When we met with them, they said it was done. Review loading and unloading zone. We are going to be going out there for an actual walkthrough with the team over there. Jerry and I have it scheduled for next week. We're gonna have our coats on, we're gonna start to go through everything and walk over and go over this entire list with them. The landscape, lighting, and the painting of the parking lots is not done. So we did discuss that because of the weather. I wanna give them till June 1st to finish all of that. The site plan using the word proposed must be changed to install, okay? Site with parking spaces changes must be changed, parking calculations and resubmitted because they're also gonna be paving in the upper portion of the area, and we're assuming that's gonna be employee parking lot, so we also need to know, how many employees are they potentially gonna have, the parking lot, so that still needs to be finished, but that would be in the spring. Let's see, what was the next one? Oh, now this next one, it says, must have interconnections to neighboring parcels via easements, and so on. I talked to Jeff at the Department of Public Works, and initially they wanted to have, when the US 31 corridor gets repaved, to only have one entrance and one exits for that whole entire strip there. So they'd like all of them to have easement accesses and that placed in the deeds. And then when they have that, it's almost like its own little road in there. So they would not have too many entrances and exits if the, US corridor was busy and you had that for site and other reasons. So that right now is kind of like on hold. I put it in there because of course it was on your list originally. So we have that in there, but we just don't know when that's gonna happen, and so I'd like to just let you be aware of it.
We limited it to one entrance. I think we had 2 or 3 entrances in
Okay.
there.
Well, one entrance and one exit, I
I think
believe.
we had more than that.
Oh, you did, okay.
Because we were talking about coming in on one end and another spot in the middle and another spot on the other end
Okay,
and something like that, just because of the traffic.
Well, it should be on the plans with our notes.
Yeah, I'd have-
Wherever the plans are.
well, and that's also the other part. Phase 2, we had no idea about. It was not in that packet. We had none of the plans, nothing that was signed by any of you. So we have to get them to make us copies of all new materials. So I'm not sure if it was missed.
To
where-
on top of the hilltop. Is that where the old storage units were? Is that phase 2?
Yes, Yeah.
That we never got a plan on.
No.
No, that did not, I don't even think that really came before us.
Is this the one that put the apartment for?
Yes.
Yes.
the-
Yeah.
Oh.
The only thing that came to us was the apartment.
Yeah, the big catch point was the apartment.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, the apartment above the dispensary itself was the thing that we had. I think that was our phase 2 that we dealt with.
Oh, and we didn't know any information about an apartment, did we, Jerry?
Well,
Nothing, so,
that fell through on them.
okay, all right, but it was not even in the packet in the file,
Oh, okay.
so,
We only had that, we didn't have anything on the storage unit.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be a grow facility.
That
think
he
that's-
mentioned in kind of in passing, I believe, that he wanted to start a grow facility up in the old storage area.
Okay.
But never
He has
got
his own-
presented to us.
Yeah.
They never came to us.
No, yeah, is there a building permit?
Okay, so go ahead. We can stop where we're at, Jerry. Go ahead and,
So Safe Build issued building permits for building B and building C.
mm-hmm,
So A was the dispensary, they issued that, they issued a CFO, and that's fine without their using it. Building B is the first storage unit on the very south end of the hill. That is being, the CFO was issued from Safe Build and all the trades, that has been inspected, and we're using that as a grow facility. It is full of pot plants.
yep.
I wonder if Safe Build was taking it that they were replacing buildings up there.
No,
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking, maybe
No.
they might have.
cannabis cultivation is what's listed as a detail on the permit.
Could it have been
Building B.
the original predates me, so I don't know what was
No,
approved.
it wasn't, no,
Oh.
it wasn't on the original. It was
Yeah, 'cause-
stated in passing that eventually they wanted to do a grow facility.
Yeah, 'cause
The
then-
old buildings were.
I'll have to dig through my basement.
Building C was just finished, all the trades inspected it. They applied for a CFO through Safe Build issued them one, retracted it because the new contractor, AGS, did one of the inspections. AGS provided documentation they're going to resubmit for this new CFO. And they want Teresa to sign off on the zoning for that so they can get the license to start using building ABC. They're going to apply for a building permit for D, which is essentially ready to start fitting out for the new lights. That's where it stands from the permitting process that I'm aware of.
I don't recall that discussion.
I do recall seeing notes in there from maybe the previous zoning administrator saying phase 2 and the land use permit was issued, I believe, for that, those buildings up there to be converted to cultivation, so
And then it was,
that is all I know about.
yeah,
I
and then it
remember
was
right, we had
closed
put-
out.
If I remember right, we had a public hearing on that being allowed to have a growth permit, and the people behind it who own the property as the radio tower
Yeah.
were here for an extensive time on us on that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but I don't think, at that time, I don't think any plans were ever presented to us. It was just,
Yeah, we never.
we were just doing the plan to allow it to be a grow facility.
We did have an open, we did have a,
Mm-hmm, public hearing.
yeah, but we never issued any kind of a permit, a special use permit or anything. It was just, oh, eventually this is what we want to do, kind of thing.
But we were
Okay.
never shown any blueprints or anything.
Okay. So I will have to tackle that tomorrow and see what needs to happen.
To dig in the basement, see what I got for this, about all my papers. I haven't thrown anything out for the last 4 years.
Good.
I've heard,
There'll be time to dig.
Okay, well, so then I don't think we need to go any further in this list or anything else, so we can move on. Thank you, Jerry.
calendar dates for 2024 for guest presentations speaker.
So when Mark and Bob and I met, we kind of went over a calendar for next year. What I'd like to do is, if we can get a tentative calendar for at least January, February, and March, and April, those 4 months. And I want to let you know that I brought it up to my HDC meeting last night that to keep it interesting, keep it going, we're going to kind of do the same thing, get a speaker in, learn something, keep it alive. So they were very interested in it, and they thought it was a great idea to take that from you guys. So I do know that March, I had asked, and she's flexible, but I asked Madeline Lamb from Johnson Sign Company to do about a 20-minute presentation. She had come in to my HDC last month, and she did that about the sunglass company that's gonna have the sign that looks like a sun for sunglasses, or tanning, I'm sorry, sun for tanning, and she did an amazing job. I mean, just in the 15 minutes that she was here, the samples she brought, her enthusiasm, I'm like, we need to have her come in. So might sound a little odd about signs, but tell you what, she knows her stuff.
More closely.
So that I was gonna ask for March, if that works out, and then I would like some ideas, or if Mark and Bob know who they'd like to have for those other months, let's write those
I can't remember
down.
the list we were coming up with. Mark.
Next for January, we have Mark Miller coming in.
Okay, great,
He was supposed to be today, but he had something going on.
yeah,
February, Laura Heinzelman from the Community Foundation.
I love her.
March, you said Madeline Lamb,
yes,
okay? And then April, Madeline
Fitzsimmons.
Fitzsimmons from the coffee shop and
Trophy.
trophies and Millennium Decor. And whoever is, because next month we re-elect new officers, whoever the chair could be. I hope that this is carried on. So, but we have the next few, I have some ideas. Mr. McCullough from DPW, Josh
Yes.
Glass, police,
yep,
Probably went over to the fire chief sometime.
fire chief,
Yeah.
yes. I talked to Mark Fetter the other day from the museum.
Yeah.
He would love to come up and talk with us again.
yep,
And Bill Gamble from city manager.
I definitely would like to have Bill Gamble come here.
like who?
Bill Gamble.
Yes, absolutely. You had also mentioned a realtor, somebody that you knew?
I'd like to get
Yep.
I don't know how, a realtor coming in, just give us the nuts and bolts of what's going on.
We figured you'd have some better ideas which realtors would be good for it, Pam.
Probably Jenny.
Yes.
Okay.
Who?
Probably Jenny Pelton.
Jenny?
Okay,
It's
And-
just that she's got her finger on a lot of different.
That's true.
Yeah, she's involved in a lot of stuff.
Involved in a lot of committees and organizations, and I think she probably,
good,
I was thinking also the Armory project, have the director come in. And just see how that is progressing. MRA director, there's another one. Anybody else that you can think of?
I can't think what else we had written down.
Someone come, like Sarah Howard from the
Yeah, the senior center.
Senior center.
you know, to talk about
Yep.
stuff, because we've been very active trying to help with our seniors with Century Terrace and some of the other places that have had some bad things happening, and so we've been working with the new people that are running that, and
We were also trying to look for housing for.
yes, we're trying to get senior
Yeah, I don't know about
housing.
anybody else, but I'd love to get an update from that Housing North. Isn't that who they were called? They came in, it's been a while.
oh.
so Tracy from,
Tracy Davis.
yes, absolutely, yep,
And I was thinking outside the box of Kurt Vanderwall, if I could get him
Oh,
here.
yeah.
He used
I
to
would
be
like to
here
get
a
him in
lot,
here.
I'd love
yeah.
him too.
So we can refine this list and
yes,
plug
absolutely.
people in if you know, we can all get together.
Have to look at availability on some of them
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I can start to reach out to some of these people.
Yep,
And maybe we piggyback speakers too, so.
yeah, sounds good,
If that's good?
yes,
That's agreeable?
Maybe we could even have somebody from the tribe to let us know what's going on with
I was
downtown.
going to suggest that.
That's fine too?
Because, I mean, we're at a standstill, and it'd be nice to know.
You get Tyler or
Finally, nice to see them doing the soil testing.
somebody
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
EDC.
they finally started the soil testing last week. Yeah, they got the rig in their
We're
work.
a couple months late,
I
but
can-
that's
Yeah.
okay.
They're
I
supposed
mean,
to be
that's-
there-
They're moving forward.
They were supposed to be there August or September.
yeah,
Okay,
okay, good,
so we have a list. Could you send me that list?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely,
All right.
yep,
Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Good ideas, sir.
Well, don't try to suck up to me.
okay, oh, go ahead.
She's giving me a hard time.
Do I have to separate you two?
Some nights, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, let's, new business is concluded, old business. amendment complete to zoning ordinance 511, driveways and curb cuts, C3.
Don't know if you remember from last time, we had found out that just the C3 was just missed. So I went ahead and updated that in the zoning ordinance, but now I just need to put that on the website as an update. So that's been changed. The next thing that I want to talk about is consideration of reestablishing of a fence permit in the zoning ordinance. So I put in there some conditions in the section about fencing, but if you kind of skim through that, it says section 502 was added to provide that fences do not require a land use permit. And I want to kind of let you know that on my calendar at my office, when somebody calls about an issue or a hot topic, I kind of write it down in the corner. So when I get future phone calls, somebody else calling about a fence, I kind of put a little dash there, and every time I get one. So there's been several phone calls that I'm getting from individuals that have old, deteriorated, rotten fences that they need to replace. So they take down the fence, and sometimes their neighbors are saying, your fence was on my property line, your fence now should be here, or I'm gonna get a survey because I think I own more. It's been a real big deal. So what I'm finding is I can tell them what the zoning ordinance says, but I can't enforce anything if this is going on. I really would like a permit to go with that. So if they fill out a permit, for one, we know that it's happening. If there's an issue, or I can ask them to get a one-sided survey or a survey, so then we know where that's at. Also helps if somebody comes to a new house and it's not had a fence around. So now we know that a fence is going up. If a neighbor calls and says, hey, they've got a fence, and we can put the price very minimal, that's another topic we can talk about, $50. But that way we know what is happening and what's going on. Just a lot of issues. So this is something that I want to bring up to your attention.
Well, this was taken out, I believe, when Denise was here because she was overloaded.
Oh,
She didn't,
okay,
She
it
was
was,
swamped there.
she was swamped, and add one more thing to her plate. So at that time, we took it out.
okay.
Personally, I would be in favor of adding this back in.
When we moved here, I had to get one to finish off my yard. My yard was partially fenced to begin with, and we wanted to enclose it.
Okay.
I had to get one, and it was like $25.
Right,
And that was in 2010, something like that.
But I
Yep.
mean, just,
2011,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. But, going around, there's been fences since this has been taken out that are too close to the sidewalk.
right.
Too high.
Yep,
So
over
this is
6
a
foot.
Record and a roadmap to what's going on.
That's
and
right.
What is legal and what isn't.
Correct.
So, you need a motion on this to put it back in?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I would get with Tim, the attorney, just to make sure the language, I guess we probably need a motion for the permit, but we also need to maybe review the ordinance too, maybe in case we need to change anything or add anything. So I guess let's not do a motion yet.
Okay.
We'll postpone this or put it on the next
right.
agenda.
Okay.
That way I can review the ordinance, see maybe what something is lacking, missing, we want to add or take out. Let's do that.
Okay.
And then if we're good with that, then we can go ahead and decide on the amount and then go ahead and have a permit.
Yeah, I mean, let's not make it, to me anyway, this is
Oh, it's not.
$75, but, $25,
Yep, yeah.
It's just,
And that's just an example that I gave you. I mean, it's just a simple, easy permit, we'll see what they have, other permits here. Just very easy steps, what they need to do. What I found is, I've had a couple phone calls of elderly individuals calling me up, all upset because their fence had fallen down. Now they want to put up a new fence. Somebody's arguing with them behind them, saying that you can't put a fence there, and they don't know what to do. They want it up because they have little dogs or animals. And so when they start to feud like that, I feel like we need to have some kind of conditions. If I hear all of that, then it's like, you know what, you have to get a survey, and that's something that I can implement and make sure that they do. But I want to kind of stop that, because it starts to become war of the neighbors, and we do not want that, so.
I get a lot of phone calls on them, and I am a surveyor.
Right, I know.
And a lot of times I can go out, I've been going to these people's place and look, I said, well, yeah, the old fence was here, you're putting it back here, you're good. You know, a lot of, like we said, the elderly.
Yes,
I've had many, many discussions with a lot of them where they're not gonna listen to the neighbor, but somebody in my position they'll listen
Right.
to and agree, okay,
yes,
I've said it's there, even it might be 2 or 3 inches different than the property line would be, but it's a historic fence, which does have a lot of weight.
yep,
And a lot of people don't think that historic structures have a lot of weight. It's just like downtown, all the town and wall construction. 3/4 of those buildings downtown encroach on each other's property. So it's just,
well, we could also have something if they could take a picture of the fence and then the replacement, as long as it's going in the same one. All, they have maybe some type of, not exactly a permit, but something that just says, same fence going in an existing area, don't charge them, but we know that it's happening. That way too, so we kind of have record.
Right.
because
So-
some of these places where she's got some older people, people don't realize the cost of a survey.
Oh, true, yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So that existing fence going back and, or, you know, taking away the existing and put it right back in the same, absolutely.
Because I know other surveyors in the area are charging what I'm charging, so I can see where some of these people, it's cost prohibitive.
You're not
That's right.
It would cost them the money to put the fence in. It'd be
You're not
cheaper.
having Bob's discount surveying? No? Okay.
A lot
couple-
of
we're
people
dealing
aren't
in the
sure
area with
with
a
wood
couple-
fence, which side.
4-county area with a couple fly-by-night
Right.
people that aren't licensed.
Yes,
I have a
yep.
question for you, Bob.
Yeah.
Legal or illegal to take out surveying sticks?
It's against the state law.
Really?
But you have to catch the person doing it.
Okay. All right.
The only one I've gotten so far is where I was pulling away from a job site and watched the neighbor pull it up in my rearview mirror.
Maybe this is something that we add to this permit, you know, just as a notation that it is illegal to do that?
Hey, it's a, you know, it's a state, the state fines aren't very big. It's like $500 or 6 months in jail,
My yard was surveyed.
or both. A lot of people can't find them anyway.
I had
and
one done
25
when
years.
I found mine, but they're gone
survey
now.
done when I bought it.
So,
There's a whole big thing.
yeah, yeah.
That's a whole nother ball wax.
All right.
You can take the
Yeah, the wood stakes, but not the,
take the wood stakes out, but not the middle.
Oh, they were metal.
yeah, the wood stakes are just.
They were. Okay. All right, so I think we've discussed that, and so we'll just, you'll review it and we'll
Yes.
move on with this, okay?
All right, sounds good, thank you.
Okay. Subjects for consideration for MSUE, class offered and select date.
I had it,
Yeah, some-
86 Washington on the revised agenda.
Okay.
So 86 Washington. So this property, one of the owners is a gentleman by the name of John, is it Grothice? It's the 86 Washington where the brewery is, in the apartments upstairs.
Okay.
Yes. So
Is
Ju-
it North Channel or is it the condos? Or
it's
the condos in North Channel?
Condos are above the brewery.
the apartments above the brewery.
Gotcha, okay.
Yes, yes, so that kind of, you'll understand why I said it like that.
thank you.
Okay, so
Right now.
John is one of the owners and Jeff is a gentleman that's gonna be doing the construction work in there. So initially, this job was approved for 14 apartments. The permit was closed out, but it was never completed, the last 2 apartments. It's been vacant, empty space. The 12 are done. Their lease is going to be up the end of December. What they would like to do, their intent is them to become condos, finish the last two, have them condos. And if the individuals that are renting now would like to purchase them, they're able to. So what they have done is, this was closed out. He wants to finish these last two. He just thought, okay, you had it before, we were doing it, we just didn't finish it, can we go ahead and do it? I put the brakes on, I said, you know what, I need to look at this whole entire packet, I need to talk to Molly, a lot of things. It's not really my issue or my problem if it's an apartment or if it's a condo. That's not on me. What I'm worried about is what was approved by you guys? Was the work completed? Was the permit closed, or where are we at? I'm starting to see several of these that have been closed out. They have not had a last inspection. Jerry and I are going over next week because they would like to reopen that commercial land use application. They want to finish those two. They have the same plans as before. Jerry and I have reviewed those site plans. So what I need from you guys is to find out, do they need to come all the way back here, start over, or with Jerry and I's judgment, looking and reviewing everything, can I reopen this permit that was issued, or get them a new permit, have the $100, and complete and finish the last two?
Question I got, was it originally supposed to be apartments, all of them?
Yes.
Okay, now if they go to condos, they have to come up with condominium documents. They do not
Okay.
just switch from apartment, they have to come up with condominium documents, which is a whole nother ball of wax.
Right.
So that's an extensive lot of,
Okay, but right now they're currently apartments, so if they were to finish the work and do the work and have them as apartments,
you'd be fine. Huh?
you're right. So then I guess then it's on them, what they want to do and everything. How this came about is, all of a sudden they're on Zillow for sale as condos. And I saw how many units, and I'm like,
Do that.
interesting. So then Molly and I started to talk, and she's like, well, they never finished those. And I said, oh, so then I went and found out it was closed, and
How was the permit closed if they weren't finished?
good question.
Who closed it? Who closed it?
When did the permit expire? Should they have to renew a permit?
Yes, several of those.
T was involved in those too.
Robert's here. It was
I
before-
would have to do an audit trail to let you know.
it was
Okay.
before me. So that was, it's been more than.
That's been quite a few years already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it predates me, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm finding these things, so then when it's coming to me, all I know is going
You want to avoid it
forward.
happening again.
Yes,
I think a
going
lot of this came through
forward,
when we had all these change and turnovers, all the people.
yes.
It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
And
can't
they've
remember.
already on their 6 years now. No, this was
I think,
Because I
before
remember,
that.
I remember seeing,
No,
so they refile for permits.
Yes, and that's what I'm gonna have them do, correct, yes.
no,
Rob and Kyle and
Denise.
I know when I first came onto commission, I saw we had the original plans that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been quite a while.
Oh, I saw things going back to like 9 years ago, so yeah, yep, but, yeah.
Well, regardless, we have to tackle it. And
Yeah.
That's right. And I do want to tell you that Jerry and I have a few steps in place, just to reassure you that, number one, when we go into, and this is another thing, BSNA was not utilized like it should have been. And Jerry and I are very good at BSNA. We like it. We find it user-friendly. And so in there, when we issue a permit, we can put in there that at 10 months, it'll give us a flag and remind us that, hey, this is coming up. You need to review this. Also in my office, because I like pieces of paper, hard copy, I have a folder for every month for next year. So when I go to next year in October, I pull that out and I see all of them that are gonna be expired, and I call them, make appointments, go out there, take pictures of it completed. Then I download all that information into BSNA, and Jerry does the same thing. So we've got it in there and it's got a record and it's all in one place. So that is our due diligence of finding out what the process is and why it's if it's closed or not, because then, does the person need an extension? What is the issue? What is the problem they're having? So then I can also report it to you if you see something going on and you're like, hey, hasn't that been taken care of? So then we know. Yep.
Okay. So what is the final? What are we gonna do here?
They have to, if they're gonna finish them, they have to finish apartments.
Apartments,
Yep.
finish as
And
apartments?
They have to go through the whole condo thing, and then
Yeah.
they have to come.
And if their permits are expired, they have to refile.
Yeah.
the
Yep.
permits.
Yeah.
They're gonna, yep.
Yeah, for the finished 2 apartments, they'd have to get.
Don't they have to go through the insurance to get them the condo standards too?
There's a whole.
There's a whole.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, that,
There's condominium documents.
Yeah.
yeah, and that, like I said, that's a whole nother ball of wax. I just, right now, and then Jerry and I are going next week again there for a walkthrough to take pictures, put that information in the BSNA, so then we have all of that.
Okay.
So,
So do we let Teresa and Jerry work on this, or do we want to have them come back in front of us?
They have to come back in front of us to get.
They've got to.
One that says this home has a pending offer.
No, to finish as apartments.
oh,
Finish 'em?
I know.
Finish it as apartments.
Finish them as apartments?
Don't they still have to come before us if it's?
The building permit, they'd have to reapply for a building permit to finish them.
It depends on what the stipulations were. Didn't, yeah, me too. I don't know what the stipulations were. Like if the building was sold, could it be converted to condos?
Right.
We don't know. We'd have to look at the
reapply
original
that vote
documents.
To make it condos.
Unless there were stipulations in the original document that
No,
allowed for
No,
it.
I don't think,
Remember any?
I think it was, the only condos were the ones on the river.
Right,
Oh,
right.
okay.
And if you compare those to the other plans, you're gonna see, on the stuff in North Channel, maybe about this much paperwork. If you look at, the ones on the water, that much. That much.
Yeah, they were billed when they gave us tours of that as apartments.
Okay. Well, and how Jerry and I are coming across these is all of a sudden somebody's like, oh, I need a building permit. And that's how it's being brought, and I'm like, wait a second, what is this? And so that's how we're finding that stuff, is usually they need a building permit or a mechanical or something like that, and then Jerry's looking into that, and then he's coming to me, and then we're both doing the research, so.
Yeah, they can't rent or sell any of that till this is resolved, you know?
Yeah. Yep. All right, so then I will tell them that they need to, I'll put them on for next month to come in January. And I'll make sure that they have the plans and everything else ready, and
Okay.
we'll see if they're ready for that, and hope they are. If not, it'll be February, so.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Review of the city master plan, community profile.
No, you skipped.
You know, like the
Up.
MSU stuff.
Subjects for consideration from MSU.
Too much coffee.
Okay, there is a list, if you want to flip to that. This is MSU extension at the very top. So, the very top, it says planning and zoning, and there's some of the topics. So what I've done is I've gone through each topic and kind of the subcategory, circled one that I thought would be a great asset for us. So under planning and zoning, I think site plan review would be a good one. Because we can also tweak this to how we want it to be set up for Mary to come in. Under community development, I think digital economy would be a good one. Not sure what that even is all about. So it'd be good to learn, listen to what they have. The public administration, I think effective meetings. I think we do an exceptional job now, but there's always room for improvement. The last one, natural resources and environment. I think surface, groundwater, and wetland protection, especially wetland. I think that's a really good one. And especially, you know, a few years ago with a lot of homes falling into Lake Michigan, erosion, critical dunes, all of that, I think that would be a good one too. But if you see something else on there that looks good, I just want to put something together so we can get Mary in here to kind of do a class for us next year.
What do you guys think of waterfront development, considering all the contention around the last project that we had? I know there aren't too many opportunities, but
There's hardly anything left that you can't really, at least in the city, there's not really. I think that was it.
pretty much it, right?
The only other thing that would be contentious would be the band shell.
A lot of that came up in that shoreline class we were in.
Yeah.
I know on the old Century property at 1009 Manistee Street, would be on the east side of the tracks.
Yeah, that one.
Ken Armour had some ideas of putting housing there.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
So,
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting talk.
that was, yes.
Okay. I missed that
But,
one.
I mean, that's maybe going to, I know there's not a lot of waterfront left.
Well, I don't even consider that.
Yeah, that would be like a different consideration.
Well, you're thinking,
It is.
It's still waterfront, you're right.
Yeah.
you're still thinking, you guys are thinking Lake Michigan more than
Yeah.
Manistee
Yeah.
Lake.
Because I always think that Manistee Lakes, to me, is pretty much all built out.
Because we gotta consider the river channel also as the waterfront development
Yeah.
too.
Well,
Just like,
Oh, and
For the peninsula.
that one very large parcel that they've been looking at to develop.
in the Peninsula District there,
Yes.
yeah, Sanks property.
Things.
No,
Yep.
the one that's got that just over the bridge. So on the right.
oh, where Consumers was?
Consumers, yeah.
Yeah,
That's still like.
that's in Peninsula District.
Is that Peninsula?
4 or 5 years down the road because they
Yeah.
have
They have to reroute the tracks and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Well,
If
also
they do that.
They also have to do testing on that for like 4 or 5 years to make sure.
Rerouting tracks have been 25 years in making.
There's the only other one down in that section would be the hotel possibly going up where Eddie Sang's property is.
Yeah.
That would be considered waterfront too.
Yeah.
Is that that new little place where the old Little Caesars used to be?
No.
No?
Right on the end of River Street.
Oh, that part, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I don't know, what do you think, waterfront development?
Yeah,
Okay.
waterfront work.
At one time, they wanted to develop that property with condos and boat slips and,
That's still kind of her plan
Yeah, I think there's probably more opportunity than.
with retail and such down
Well, and
there.
I could look that up on a map too and do some research and everything too with it.
So to get our credits in, there's 5 right now, so let's, get something else.
is there a way that we could come and, like we used to have classes with Michigan State would come?
Yeah, that's what it is. Mary's gonna do it for free.
Is there-
Yeah, she's gonna come here, and we could also open it up to other townships,
Yeah.
you know,
We did
whoever
that
else.
before.
Well,
Yep.
with that said, thinking outside the box, local economic development, I think that would be excellent, because we seem like we're on the forefront of a lot of this, so. So that gives you 6, and you can, what other classes that you would like, so.
Yeah.
All right. Good, thank you.
But to play off on that, Teresa, I received an email the other day from Kara Kelly,
Okay,
stating that I need 6 credits to finish off the year for Master Citizen Planner.
oh,
So I can forward this to you.
please do.
Because I know I have, we did a seminar which was worth 1.5 points
Okay.
on this in November.
And then I think you did short-term rental, we signed that up with MSU or whatever, that was just a online.
Yeah, so
Yep, that was another
worth
one.
1.5 points, so.
And then I was gonna counter, I think it's the 101 Land Bank. I know Mick was there for that, so that was another one, so.
Are any of these, this is for me personally, it's
It's-
difficult for me to get away during the day. Are any of them available to watch after the fact, on
Yep.
video, or are they?
Yep, they are. So if you're not able to do it that night, they'll send you a link and afterwards, and you can have access to it and everything, do it on your own time, absolutely. And then what I'd like for any of the classes that we're gonna have, obviously they'd be right after a meeting, or right before a meeting, so if our meeting's at 7, we could have it at 6. something along that line, so,
We used to have
absolutely.
them at night and all the different communities contributed,
Yep,
I don't know, I would like to, keep my master citizen planner up to date, so,
Yeah, I took the class, but I never did the presentation, so I don't have.
so you have the citizen planner certificate, yeah.
Whenever I never did the presentation.
I never did the master because I've got to keep up my certifications in 4 other.
Yes.
So it's great. I don't have the time.
Yep,
so,
yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
them, but
work on that.
I haven't been able to do the classes, so mine is expired probably, so
Okay.
I would like to take the classes.
Okay,
I sent you the email, Teresa, and I'll
All
catch
right.
up with you tomorrow,
sure,
so,
sounds good.
okay? All right, so we have a list, site plan review, local economy development, digital economy, effective meetings, for some people that can't get things straight, like some speakers. Yeah, I know, I got you guards here.
Yep.
Waterfront development and surface groundwater and wetland protection.
Yes,
So, that good?
Sounds good.
sounds good.
Excellent. Now we'll move along, if there's nothing else. Okay, review of city master plan community profile. I got that. More yelling.
Where's my paper, where's my paper?
Good luck.
Uh-oh. Where is it?
You didn't lose it, did you?
Okay,
Probably under desk.
I think I've got it here. So we're on review of master plan. Okay. So I took the first section of the master plan, I think it started with the years. So first I want to review, the master plan is a guide for the future action of our city. It provides a long-term vision for the community's development. It also is assisting in guiding all of us on how to use the land appropriately. It protects the public health, safety, general welfare of the community. Now, all of this is just me talking, so it's not really in that part of the master plan. So, as you can see on the page, it ends in 2016. So as years broke out, and then from 2016, there is nothing from there to the present. So some things that I want to make you aware that has happened from 2016 to the present are these. In 2016, there were 9,611 passengers that flew in and out of the airport. So that was a 20% increase in 2016 alone. What is it now? Now that is something that might be a hot topic that we could put into our master plan. And I have all of these and I can email them to you. In 2016, officials at West Shore Community College and Michigan State University actively pursued an agricultural science agreement. This agreement allowed students to earn a 2-year degree and then move to MSU to obtain a 4-year degree in that. So that was fantastic news. In 2017, there was many street improvements. The city spent more than $600,000 on major and local street improvements. 12th Street was reconstructed, 6 miles of major streets. In 2018, we had Project Rising Tide. 2019 marked 150th anniversary of this event to mark the celebration, of Manistee County Historical Museum. Many other businesses and organizations hold a variety of events through the year. 2020, so this is when we had our COVID-19, and I don't want to be negative about this, but the city staff, business owners, and communities were forced to adapt to a new way of life here. both professionally and personally. City facilities were closed, opened, and then closed again. All the employees who could work remotely did so. Those that could not come into work, they were taking precautions and safeguarding themselves. The city invested many dollars in technology to make it possible to conduct remote meetings, here for staff, here for the residents. They provided a high level of service to the community. 2021, high water took a toll on the Manistee River in the south shoreline. So that's why one of parts of the classes in MSU, this is what brought my attention to it. Repairs were made to the eroded shoreline. The city added stone. They added stone walls, rebuilt the retaining wall, and the First Street overlook. In addition to high water, the COVID-19 pandemic continued to be a hindrance that required ongoing attention. In 2022, we saw new business entrepreneurs and new city growth. So those are just some things that I highlighted from 2016 to the present that we need to come up with a couple paragraphs, a couple things that we want to entail and put into our master plan.
That high water was when that big surge came in across the lake.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cities that-
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple more days, came right, the water came right down the river channel.
Yes.
Like a
Wow.
bathtub. That's what it does.
Wow.
Like a bathtub.
Yeah, there was, Ludington got hit with, where there was water on Ludington Avenue downtown. That's how far it came up.
Oh, wow.
Crazy videos.
It was crazy on that day.
Yeah, it took out our docks at the marina.
Ah, yes.
That's where all that repair stuff came in.
Okay. Yeah. When I was,
Mother Nature at its finest.
Yeah.
And the Riverwalk.
In the river.
Rock, right. When I was at Laketon Township, I had 12 homes go into Lake Michigan. We were all over the news along with Pentwater and I think Arcadia and a few other places, and it was awful. I remember calling a woman that lived in California. She had a home, and we literally had to get consumers and everybody out there to cut the wires because it was just a matter of a couple days. Going out there in the house, part of it is just leaning over and the pictures and,
Just south of town.
yeah, just awful. But, yeah. That's why they have bigger setbacks and everything with Eagle, so, to prevent some of that. All right, so the last two things about master plan that I want to bring up is I did send an email out to both superintendents of Manistee High School and Manistee Catholic Central. My idea is to go into maybe a junior and the senior class, go into the government class for 2 or 3 days, take over the class and actually sit with these young adults and find out from them, what kind of interest do you have here in Manistee?
Yeah.
Are you planning on staying and living in Manistee? What could make you stay here? What interests you? And then also have a board of the city of Manistee and have, you know, okay, a park. Maybe they're all into, let's have another park, and have them cut things out and glue it and have little teams that this is our city and this is what we want to see. Mm-hmm. We need to get fresh, new, young people because they are our future. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are going to be following us. So I put those emails out, so I wanted to let you know that I've touched base, or I'll be touching base with them to see what that happens. Okay, so lastly, your cards. Okay. Let me get my piece of tape here. Hopefully you can see it from here. These are your 3 questions. You're not to ask help from your neighbor.
Why don't you put it on the,
Oh, here, yes.
put it,
All right, good idea, good idea.
Yeah. Zoom in.
Yeah.
hey, you gotta zoom in on it more.
See that?
I haven't done this in a long time. It
I forget
says
about using
dot
this.
cam. Zoom in. Oh, yeah, it's
Okay,
working.
keep going.
Keep going.
I can't see what's happening, so you'll have to tell me where.
You're
Is
doing
it?
good.
Okay, I don't see it, so.
Right there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so
Good
now
job.
talking to your neighbor. And then I want the cards afterwards. Your little Before you go. Kyle, would you like to know the questions?
Why?
Come on up here, Kyle. You can read them. I'll give you a card. Right here. Oh, absolutely.
You know you're not gonna do it.
Who?
You.
I'm thinking.
We've been here too long, Mark.
It's gonna take me a while.
Take a picture of that and email it to me.
You're not allowed to look in the paper archives either.
Kyle and I are buds. He's a right guy.
Back?
Sure, I can collect them now or whenever you're finished, or, yeah.
Anybody else? No?
You just put them upside down there. Yeah.
I can't think of the women in town.
I could only think of one, but it's
And it's like my brain just went
I
dead.
passed.
it's not somebody I personally know who it is. Yeah.
I know I'm putting you on the spot. But this will get you thinking for next time when we meet. I'll put the list together. And, yeah.
Go down to the museum all the time because you learn so much about our history and
Mhm.
people and,
I need to go. I've never been in there.
oh, it's quite great.
I love museums and I've never been in there. It's never open anytime I've gone by it, so I don't
And
have
Mark,
to find out when
so
it's there.
good down there, you know, he's,
And I want to go to the tourism. I mean, I've met Sammy and I've heard her speeches, but
The lady that was here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, she was fantastic.
oh yes, very good.
take
Just a
the-
wonderful speaker.
take that little trolley tour and they stop at all the historic
Oh,
places.
okay. Okay.
Charlie tour?
Yes, there is.
It goes past my house.
Really?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
yeah, because the
They
Pentecostal
stop,
Jews.
show you different places, tell you about
That's
them.
it.
Yep.
Great.
Who's it run by?
The,
The Historic Museum? Or
no, the,
That's right.
Dial Ray?
yeah,
Ryla died.
The Riley Dag?
Ryla died.
yeah.
I don't get out much. I work a lot.
Yep.
Just stop that stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do the Jeopardy clock here pretty soon.
Oh, I could do that.
Are you done, Bob?
Long done.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know anybody's handwriting, so go for it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'll mix them up right now, too. That's right.
Don't do that.
Mark, we'll give you some time. You can finish up later.
Who?
Or are you already
done.
done? Oh, see, all
Just gotta
right.
wait
You guys are making fun of me.
Roger.
All right.
You just need Mix and Rogers.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Okay, let's finish up. We got public comments and communications.
Okay, public comments, communications. Anyone in the public that has something to say? No? Okay, move along.
Kyle never did anything.
I kept on the staff and board reports.
Okay.
I kept it on. Okay, so with me, issued permits and business registrations. I've had no time. I was out sick with COVID all last week. Apologize, but also as you can see, we're coming up with some issues, so I think we need to resolve those before and maybe start that process of looking what's up and what's open and closed. What I'd like you to do for next time is if you hear of anything, see anything, maybe just shoot me an email or tell me at the meeting, hey, we're interested in this property. Where's it at? What's going on with it? So your ears and eyes would be helpful for me. I did take a visit to the fire station. So Tom had me go over because starting new, I had so many invitations and visiting and seeing new places. Finally went over and what an amazing building. Beautiful. And I enjoyed my tour, so I just wanted to let you know. And Tom is great. He's great for the guys.
He's learning the building.
Yeah.
I
So-
can help him out.
Yeah, we can.
Spent a lot of time there as a kid.
Yes.
Dad was a fire
That's
chief.
right. That's right. Yeah, all the old pictures and yeah, so really nice. Okay, so we talked about the educational requirements for the planning commission members. Just reviewing that again. I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier, so. MSUE, sorry, that was on there twice. We don't need to talk about that again. Land Bank 101, so that was, Tuesday, November 7th. The turnout, it was standing room only after all the chairs. It was just huge turnout. I want to say probably 60, 70 people there. It was great, informative. Susan Wenslick from Fishbeck was there. Great presentation. Yeah. I know Mick was there and several other people, but from your board. So that was really great. The next thing I do want to add to that is I became a MAP member, which I've done that before. That's the Michigan chapter of the American Planning Association. So I went ahead and joined again for $60. And from that, they've got a couple books, you know, $10, $15 here and there. So I am going to pick up the one about master plan. Just because I know from my previous positions, they were great. And the ones that we have here, there was only 2 that I found, but it was not master plan. They were old, so maybe the county had those before, but they didn't give them to us, which I totally understand. So we need to get our own. So I ordered a couple and it was less than $80 for some of those, so. Lastly, I don't know if you had heard the great news that Tracy from Housing North and myself, we've been working on the Chill Grant, and we got it.
Oh, yeah, I read that.
Yes, we got it. So,
That's the
did
one that's
that,
on the other side of 31, that borders, am I thinking of the right one?
well, we're not really narrowing it down to a certain area possibly there. So what the intent is, we're hoping to have around 12 homes that we're gonna be able to give $40,000, but they have a lot of criteria that they have to meet. If they were able to get the funding, we'd like to encapsulate the homes that have the siding that looks like roofing siding, and some of it's asbestos siding. So we just want to get a company to come in, encapsulate that. But our first priority is to make sure that the home is safe, that it passes the building inspector, so Jerry will be going out there. Also mechanical, all of that first, because that is the most important need. It doesn't have to be like a brand new kitchen, but we need to make sure that it's functional, using the water, mechanical, electrical, all of that. So that first, and then with that, we want to do the siding and help those individuals out, so.
Does roofing come into play on that?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
But it also, you know, if each home gets approximately $40,000, we'll be able to see, you know, what could or couldn't, so. Yeah,
Yeah.
so really happy. So that was my first, I was thrown into it and we got that done, so, been busy.
Well, good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Okay, Brownfield redevelopment, Shelley Roberto, Roger Yoder. I don't know if we really need that in future.
I think you were looking for
Agendas.
feedback.
Is that?
Yeah, just feedback, or if
okay.
you attended the meeting, if
All right.
anything was
We
talked
don't have
about.
one until January for either that I'm on.
Okay, all right.
Okay. All right, Historic District.
Yes, so had that meeting, just a couple things I want to talk about real quick. Ken Cooper at the Old Kirk Museum, he just required a letter of support, and they did give him that. They want to put a new roof on the church, so. The next, 95 Maple Street, the library, they had open permit, and it was for the steps, had a lot of cement that was broken off and everything. So when I went over there, I noticed there was a chunk that was never done, or it was missing, or it came off. So I went inside, just asked, were they happy with it? Are they going to fix that? What's going on? The permit was still open with that one. And they said, oh, we want to do that in the spring, but eventually we're going to do something else out there. But that they were happy with what they did. I got to tour the library, did all of that, and I just took the permit and added on another 6 months, and we'll touch base with them. Next, Miss Betty from 99 Pine Street. She was interested in applying for a historical marker designation. The family has talked about selling the home, but they've also want to know what they could do about keeping the home. They've been offered some money for the home as a parking lot, but they really don't want to see it. It is the first African-American home or retreat, just right down here, 99 Pine. It survived the fire, and it was built in 1860, the home was. Just a tiny little yellow house. Yes.
Smith property.
Yeah.
Yes, yep, yep. And so Eastern Michigan University came out and they did a lot of research on it. And the family is gonna hope to get it dedicated and a nice historical marker sign in like July.
Is that the one at the bottom of the hill?
It's
Right above
Okay.
the-
Yeah,
Yep. So just,
at first, yeah, down below there.
Okay.
yep, so I just wanted to make them aware, even though it's not in the historical district, but it has something to do huge with history here. And then, yeah, that's it. That's all that I have for that.
Okay. Zoning Board of Appeals.
We are going to have a meeting scheduled for January, is it the 25th, I believe it is, just to get it on the books, on the calendar. I can meet everybody, so we're going to do that for sure in January, so.
What time of day is that meeting?
It's gonna be 5 o'clock on a,
That late, usually it does them in the afternoon, but I know I saw it.
yeah,
Send it
5
out.
o'clock, yeah, I did. The 24th or 20, I can probably pull it up on my phone, to tell you exactly. It's gonna be at 5
Oh,
o'clock.
it was you that sent it out, yeah, that was. 25th, CBA.
Yep, the 25th, the Thursday, 5 o'clock.
I think the ZBA one, when I first got on the ZBA, it said, you know, they typically only meet like once a year, but it's been several meetings now because they've had so many things coming in front of
Oh,
them. So,
right, right.
I think that we met 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something like in the last quarter or so.
Okay.
Is that in council chambers?
Yes,
ZB? Okay.
yep.
Is that election of officers too? Is that?
In January, yes,
Okay.
yep. Might as well get it done. That's right.
Okay. Anything else on ZBA?
Nope,
No?
is it?
Okay.
I have nothing scheduled, so.
Okay, well, outside the, Laura, do you have anything?
I do not.
No? Come on. How's Thanksgiving?
Fabulous. How about yours? Was yours good?
Always. Lions
getting-
lost, but you know, what do you expect?
They're getting ready for the election. I mean, all the things that they've
Yes.
had to do, that's a big, big deal.
Presidential primary,
Yep.
February 27th.
That's a biggie.
I'm gonna be working it.
Are you?
See
Yes.
which professional liars get in.
Member discussion. Marlene?
No, I'm glad Bob's healing and getting back to himself, and other than that, I wish everybody a great Christmas.
Bob?
I'm just hoping Roger gets a lot better. We need him back. I'm glad to be back. Next 2 months, I'm gonna be tied up with a lot of trading on weekends and nights. So I'm gonna be hit and miss, but I got our meetings on the schedule to hit.
Okay.
But anything outside normal meeting time is gonna be kinda rough the next 2 months for me.
Okay.
I have as you know, all these CAU classes people have to get. This is the time of year we get hit.
Pammy?
Yeah, I'm glad Bob's doing better. Hope Linda gets better real quick. Like to see Roger back. I do have an address. I want you to check on her permit because I don't think she got her final inspection.
And I wanted to talk to you afterwards anyway, so, okay.
Other than that, everybody have a good Christmas.
Shelley?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Mark? Okay,
You always have a list.
I do.
Oh, boy.
Mark always has a list.
Yeah,
Didn't he already talk?
I was giving him the floor.
I just have 3 or 4 things that could last till 10. Okay?
But won't.
No, Mark, you can't, football game Sunday, so we gotta make it to there.
That's right, yeah, it's the BS. We did talk a little bit about a house on First Street with no railings. I'll talk to Jerry on that. In the council packet, Teresa, the other minutes weren't included in the packet?
Yes. Well, they were after the fact, but, a little elf told me that they were missing, so I apologize.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we
Right.
said pick them up at 1 o'clock. I was there at 1:15 and
Yes.
shortly after it.
Yep.
And then the only other thing is the marijuana distributor out on US 31 Arthur Street, Weed. They have the banner still up.
Okay.
And the other day during the wind, it was torn down. Of course, that banner doesn't meet code. I know Katie talked to him on that. So
Okay.
you could follow up with that, please.
Sure.
With that, I don't have any other questions or anything to say, other than thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
And have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn at 8:29.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Shelley.